Please stand and remove your hats for our national anthem. Please remain standing for the invocation, which will be given by Reverend Brian Musser.
Let us pause for a moment of invocation. Creator, lover, healer, forgiver, guide, comforter, and friend. Many great things have been brought into our lives that have made this moment possible. Many things that were not within our control. Others have given much so that we may be here in this place. Friends, family have given their time, encouragement, energy, resources to help us along the way. Professors, advisors, and peers have shared knowledge, information, expertise, and wisdom. And you have given life, design, purpose, meaning, and sustenance. You have gotten us through. There were times when things were good and the path was easy, but there were other times when we needed to be carried. At times, the world around us asked for more than we thought we had to give, especially this year. More time than what was on the clock, more money than what was in our pockets. But this moment testifies that through all that, we have made it with the help of others and with the help of you. Thank you. At this time and in this moment, enable us to take advantage of this unique opportunity to truly celebrate with gratefulness and gratitude those gifts that have been given to us and to honor and thank the givers. As we move forward, help us to understand the responsibilities that come with such blessings that we have. Allow us to never hoard these gifts that have been given to us, but to hold them out with open hands so that others may be blessed as well. Give us the ability to do great things with our degrees. But more importantly than great things, aid us in doing truly good things. I ask that we will always be about making our world a better place. As we continue to expand our knowledge and practice our chosen fields of study, may we apply this information directly to others' lives in such a way that brings peace and justice, forgiveness and healing, truth and wisdom. And as we attempt to better understand the worlds that exist around us, within us, among us, may this understanding move us forward into a better tomorrow than was yesterday. As we work as we ought, allow us to have the understanding that we are working alongside you, the giver of gifts, the bestower of blessings, the advocate for truth, the creator of beauty. And as we work with you, help us to continually develop in our understanding of you, of ourselves, of us as a whole, and of this wonderful creation that we are a part. At this time, we invite your presence, the presence of the divine, to be here with us. But not only for this moment of commencement, but from this moment forward. You are most welcome here. We invoke your presence. I will leave this prayer unended, signifying that the rest of what we do will be in communication with you.
Please be seated. Please welcome President John Fry.
Thank you, Reverend Musser, and welcome to everyone. This is such a great day, and we are all so deeply fortunate. We are fortunate to gather together and virtually as the Pennoni Honors College, the academic pride of Drexel University. We are fortunate to be successfully emerging from a challenging time for our university and for all of our communities. And most of all, we are fortunate to be able to celebrate the members of this outstanding class who will graduate this week. So on this day of celebration and joy, let me be the first to say congratulations to the amazing class of 2021. We are also very proud of your accomplishments and wish you the best of success as you join thousands of other proud Drexel alumni. I hope you savor this milestone in your academic career and on your life's journey. You deserve all the accolades and much more. This class has pushed the boundaries of academic and research excellence and set new standards for civic engagement. And in the past year, you have taught us what it's like to be truly resilient. You've learned already that you are entering an incredibly challenging world. And more than ever, it is a world that desperately needs you. It needs the many contributions you will make in your places of work and in your communities. You hold in your hands the long-term health, equity, and prosperity of our society. How you make use of the knowledge you have worked so hard to acquire will determine our collective future. It has been said, wisely, that the success of our society and on our democracy rests upon our willingness to think of each other and not only of ourselves. My hope is that you will embrace this principle, that you will step up in your communities, and that you will take on the solemn responsibility of leadership. Knowing this class of 2021, I have no doubt that we can look forward ahead with confidence and contemplate the truly exciting and deeply necessary ways in which you will contribute. Our university is a profoundly better place for your efforts. Our capacity for knowledge, for innovation, and for service to others is so much greater because of you. And that's what we celebrate at Commencement. I also want to extend a warm welcome to our Commencement speaker, Dawn Marie Bazemore, who is a dancer and choreographer with a distinguished career as a performer, researcher, and teacher of her art. I know Dawn will have many insights to share with us. So let me close by saying this to our graduates. All of us at Drexel look forward to hearing about your future successes in scholarship, in your professions, and especially in the way in which you'll serve others. I want you to know also that the entire Drexel University community holds you in our hearts. So once again, congratulations on your graduation. And it's now my pleasure to introduce my colleague, Dr. Paula Marantz Cohen, the Dean of the Pennoni Honors College.
Every year, when I congratulate you, our small and select group of custom design majors, I think about the qualities that you had to possess to pursue this unconventional route. I know that you were fortunate in having advisors at Drexel and in the Pennoni Honors College in particular to help you along the way. Still, it takes a special kind of student and a special kind of supportive parent as well for that student to take the leap into a major that is not already conceived and charted. It's so much easier to follow the established route and to choose among the many excellent majors that already exist at Drexel. And yet I would argue that your course, unconventional and even risky as it may seem, is the more logical and insightful one in our current climate. And indeed, given the way we as humans interact in the world as complex existential beings, this is a logical route. Life is not predictable. Preparation for a career may seem like it can be simple, but it never is. And what constitutes a fulfilling life and career can change and sometimes detour radically as we grow older and society around us changes. A friend of mine, a philosopher who was a former university president, recently shared with me some remarks he made to a business audience on the subject of education and career. 3 quotes in that speech stood out for me as particularly relevant to the present moment and to you, our graduates of the custom design major. First is a statement by the great H.L. Mencken, a journalist who was a kind of public philosopher, speaking truth to power on all manner of subjects. As an aside, we are proud that the online Arts and Culture Journal, published by the Pennoni Honors College, carries the name of his great magazine from the 1920s, The Smart Set. Please check out thesmartset.com that carries on in the tradition of H.L. Mencken. But getting back, H.L. Mencken said the following: people in groups tend to agree on courses of action which, as individuals, they know to be stupid. I fear greatly for groupthink as we move into the middle of the 21st century. It's always so much easier to latch on to the popular sentiment and not to think deeply and closely on the many nuanced aspects of a problem or a course of action. You in custom design have begun to do this with your course of study. You have created something that falls outside the group idea of a major and that puts you in the enviable position of being less stupid than others in your decision-making and your problem-solving. The second statement is what my friend called the trusty truism of the computer age. It goes like this: if a system is sufficiently complex, it will be 1, built before it is designed, 2, implemented before it is tested, and 3, outdated before it is debugged. I think you, our custom designed majors, may be able to stay a bit ahead of the curve here, designing, implementing, and debugging at an earlier point in the process that leads inevitably to obsolescence. Finally, the third statement that seemed relevant to this group is the following: the assumption you make without realizing you are making it is the one that will do you in. Again, one of the great assets of your custom design major is that you examine your assumptions more closely than you would in any preconceived major. Indeed, that examination is how you give your course of study its shape. I think you can thank your advisors for helping you do this. Kevin Egan, Katie Barrick, Joe Santangelo, and the whole academic programs team and Pennoni Honors College staff in general are skilled at testing and interrogating assumptions. But ultimately, you were successful because you learned to do this on your own. You are embarking on life now with tools and insights, not to mention a worldview that is broader and more nuanced than is common for most graduates. You are less stupid, more prone to design, implement, and debug prior to obsolescence, and finally, more inclined to examine your assumptions so as not to be done in by them than most other college graduates. You have acquired the precious gift of seeing around things that I hope you will put into effect in solving problems, in helping others, and in finding the best possible life and career for your talents, your temperament, and your interests as they adjust to a changing world. It is now my pleasure to introduce one of our graduates, Jasmine Timar. Jasmine will address us on behalf of the graduating class of 2021.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. We have finally made it, although I'm not sure if I should say finally or already made it just by how fast time has flown by, especially this last year. It's a massive understatement to say that this has definitely not been what any of us expected for our senior year, but honestly, I think that if nothing else, our major has at least prepared us for it. It's rather what being in custom design is all about, isn't it? Framing difficult questions in coursework in ever-changing environments, whether that's the state of the world or where we are with defining exactly what we're studying, which we all know is constantly in flux. It's an experience that I'm unspeakably grateful for. Katie, Kevin, and all of the other administrators and professors that made it possible. I really don't know where we'd be without you guys. The countless back and forth emails and meetings, figuring out how to fit every course we want into our schedules, even the ones we're not supposed to be taking originally. The support you guys give is incomparable. From the first time I met you both, I felt completely and totally heard. Today, it's just about expected for people to get a college degree just to make it out there in the world. And some people come just to check off having it. But in this major, I feel like we were brought here from a place of passion. We had specific things we wanted to do, whether it was investigating the implications of food waste, delving into the world of music journalism, doing a deep dive into neuroscience and computational modeling, or reporting on how a bunch of Redditors have the power to shift global markets. There were all just things we wanted to know more about, and whether we were here from the beginning or had to find our way here through trial and error with a standard major, we were all driven towards that one end goal of finding the knowledge we were looking for. For me, the journey was searching for a balance between saving the planet somehow and getting to refine the skills I already had in marketing. And while I spent my first 3 years trying to find ways to fit in the supplemental courses I desperately wanted to take, custom design was ready to let me fly right into them once I was admitted into the program. I found that I could be more help to the world by enabling as many scientists as possible to expand their own reach than I would in joining them in producing research of my own. And just that one piece of new knowledge completely shifted my path. For whatever reason you come to college, whether it's just the degree or getting to take exciting classes or meet new classmates, we all leave here with something that can't be assigned a value. The path we walk down, the experiences, and the people all contributed to the new ideas swirling around in our heads, expanding our adjacent possible, the realm of things that are available to us once we know that they exist and can start building towards them. Because in our jobs or wherever our passions take us, we might not use every course that we took to guide us, but the ideas that we now have because of them are absolutely life-changing. When I think of what my life would have been like if I hadn't come to Drexel, and of what opportunities would have been available or not available to me, I'm absolutely overwhelmed with all of the things I've accomplished now that I might not have even considered as a possibility if I went to another university or was surrounded by different people. It was because I was given the opportunity to work with scientists in the STAR program that I found a need for better science communications. And it was because I was at Drexel that I could maneuver my classes in life enough to start a business to fulfill that need. And it was all of the amazing people I met in both the environmental science and custom design majors that were able to help support me as I stretched further and further into my new roles. So whatever it is that you took from your time here, the experiences that brought you to them, the things that make you who you are today, just take a moment and think about them. And think about all the ways that, even as this pandemic slowly marches on, you're going to be ready to put yourself out there and grab hold of whatever fascinates you and inspires you to continue to take the unknown road. Because no matter what, just from knowing who you all are, you're going to be amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine, for your inspiring remarks, and congratulations on your graduation. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Kevin Egan, Director of Academic Programs in the Pennoni Honors College.
we want to acknowledge those students who have received special recognition from the university. In the spirit of honoring exceptional academic achievement, we wish to recognize our undergraduate students who have completed their degree with a perfect 4.0 grade point average. I would like to congratulate Manasa Natrajan on this accomplishment. Congratulations. I would like to recognize those undergraduate students who have demonstrated outstanding academic achievement at Drexel, as reflected in outstanding final grade point averages. Students who graduate with a GPA between 3.5 and 3.7 are designated cum laude or with honor. Will cum laude graduates please give yourself a round of applause at home? Those graduating with a GPA between 3.7 and 3.9 are designated magna cum laude or with outstanding honor. Will our magna cum laude graduates please give yourself a round of applause at home? And students graduating with a GPA of 3.9 or higher are designated summa cum laude, or with highest honor. Will our summa cum laude graduates please give yourself a round of applause at home? Congratulations to you all. If we take a trip back 100 years in the Wayback Machine, we would find ourselves in the Roaring 20s, a decade defined by prosperity coming out of the Spanish flu pandemic. It was also a decade in which the electronic television, electric traffic signal, and Band-Aid were all invented. Penicillin was discovered, the first injection of insulin was given, Art Deco dominated architecture, Ulysses, The Great Gatsby, and The Sound and the Fury were all published. Surrealism and Expressionism took off in the art world, and an animated short featuring a certain mouse was released by Walt Disney. This is all to say that the decade following the global Spanish flu pandemic saw a remarkable eruption of creative, inventive, and transformative talent. I have faith that the 2020s will be no different, and you, our 2021 graduates of the custom design major, have forged paths that will prime you to be at the forefront of creation, invention, and transformation. And just like the 1920s, this decade will present its fair share of challenges, including inequality, racism, xenophobia, misinformation, partisanship, and environmental threats. But just as you all persevered over the course of this last year, I know that you will unflinchingly face those challenges and use your arsenal of impressive talents to confront them head on. You've achieved much, and I have confidence in our future knowing how much more you have to accomplish ahead of you. So with that, I want to congratulate each graduate of the custom design major. Dominic Baglivo, Cecilia Cerny, Daniel Clark, Avery Klonder, Manasa Natrajan, Axel Persinger, Christina Saluk, Jasmine Timar, and Krishna Venagala. Thank you.
It is now my great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker today, Dawn Marie Bazemore, to address the custom design class of 2021. Dawn Marie.
Greetings, and thank you, Kevin Egan, Dr. Paula Marantz Cohen, and President Fry, for inviting me to share in such a wonderful celebration. And congratulations to all of the graduates who have acquired such an auspicious achievement during an extremely unprecedented time. As a college professor and a graduate student myself, I know firsthand the struggles of navigating through COVID college. Believe me, I commiserate with the frustration, uncertainty, feelings of inadequacy, and Zoom fatigue, but you have all pushed through to the finish line in spite of such unforeseen challenges. If there is anything we have learned from our collective pandemic journey, is that we are innovative and highly adaptable. But I suppose that students who have immersed themselves in a college program rooted in innovation, collaboration, and inquiry already possess the skills needed to tackle the shifts and changes that come with surviving a worldwide pandemic. When Dr. Egan initially invited me to speak at your graduation, he and I discussed the nature of this groundbreaking program. I must admit that as an educator, I had not considered how often students struggle to find a college program that is tailored to suit their research needs. When I was an undergrad, a student who struggled to find a place for themselves in an already existing program enrolled in the College of Humanities under the category of undecided. This label suggests that the student has embarked on their college journey less prepared than others in their cohort who are studying business or education or communications. But what if it's not the student, but the university itself that is not prepared? What if the student knows exactly what they want to contribute to their field of study, and the only issue is that the particular field of study simply doesn't exist yet? It seems that here at Drexel University, those questions have been considered and answered. Here, you are earning a Bachelor of Science degree in a custom design major. You, with the guidance of your program directors and professors, have literally invented new fields of study, and with interdisciplinary focuses at that. It is brilliant. You are brilliant. Social applications of food science, a combination of culinary arts, nutrition, public health, and sustainability. Quantitative studies in life science, a combination of neuroscience, math, physics, and biology. Applied data science, a combination of finance, computer science, and math. These are just a few examples of what you all have created during your tenure in this program. I mean, you are truly brilliant. I have 2 degrees, and I'm working on a 3rd. All of them are in dance. Dance performance, dance theory, and history, and now dance education. Lots of dance. I'm extremely well-versed in dance. Please understand, though, that I don't take my years of training, research, and theorizing in dance lightly. I love dance and all of its many possibilities. I grew up in New York, training at all of the best dance schools. I even went to middle and high schools with a performing arts focus. After earning my BFA in dance from SUNY Purchase, I moved to Philadelphia to join the Philadelphia Dance Company, also known as Philadanco, and I danced professionally with the company for 10 years. I have performed all over the world, both with Philadanco and various Broadway shows, but it was not until I was a student at Hollins University, studying for my master's degree in dance, that I encountered the term interdisciplinary. Dance training, much like sports training, can often require what feels like tunnel vision. There is a demand for discipline and focus on very specific dance styles that is unwavering for those aspiring to dance professionally. There is very little room for error, and quite often dancers are defined by their body type and ability. I cannot identify too many moments during my early training through college where I was given choices or allowed to explore ways of moving that existed outside of Western codified dance practices, such as ballet, American modern dance, and improvisation. I also never considered how dance could possibly connect with or to any entity outside of art making. But in graduate school, we studied the theory and politics of movement, and I developed a deep interest in socio-political dance practices. I had not considered the connections between dance, activism, and community until then, and that is when and where I found my voice. Utilizing dance theater to create work about the Central Park Five and Khalif Browder, bringing awareness of the inequities in our judicial and penal systems to my community is my artistic purpose. In fact, I just received a commission to create a piece that will honor the photojournalism of Gordon Parks, the first African-American professional photographer to document a segregated America. And while I'm grateful to be able to clearly identify who I am as an artist, the revelation is one I arrived at quite later in life. I can only imagine how different my life in dance would have been if I had had the opportunity to design my own field of study in undergrad that encompassed dance, political science, activism, and art design. Yet here you are, already clearly forging your path with a clear understanding of its endless possibilities. You are already light years ahead of me. Now, I'm not going to tell you how many times I had to repeat biology in high school, or how my own children know not to come to me for help with their math homework. The study of science and technology is not something you and I have in common. What connects us, though, is the merging of disciplines to create sustainable, life-changing projects. It is the interdisciplinary work that has brought us together at this very moment. We are all artists who value the blurred lines and the gray areas. We are not afraid to tackle the unknown because we wholly believe that the outcome will change lives. As you head out into the world, always come back to that. During those times in your lives when you will doubt yourself and your ability to make a difference, come back to that. Remember what you created and its value. So now, I will do what professors, mentors, and big sisters do. I will share with you a few pieces of wisdom I have acquired throughout my professional journey. Don't let other people define you. As you dig deeper into your work, you will find yourself trying to prove its value to others. You may need to apply for funding for research, or you may be nominated for fellowships or grants for which you will be asked to identify who you are and what you do. If you feel the criteria does not quite encompass your work, it is okay to say no thank you. I was once invited to apply for a $15,000 arts grant, specifically given to women identifying artists who are working in some form of social justice. And I made it to the second round, at which point one of the adjudicators asked me to explain how my work heals people. A question to which I replied, I am not a healer. I did not receive the grant, but I was invited to apply again the next year. It's a double-edged sword at times. We want the funding and the honors, but we must resist the urge to change who we are to do what we do to receive them. So stand in your truth, and what is for you will come to you. It is never the right time to do anything. This one applies to work and family. When I went back to school for my master's degree, I was a mother of two small boys, ages 7 and 1. I was required to spend 2 summers in North Carolina and Roanoke, Virginia, and I took my kids with me. And my mother came along to help care for them when I had classes and needed to study. Last summer, I decided to apply to the dance education EDD program at Columbia University's Teachers College. And not long after my first semester began, my mother was diagnosed with cancer. And as I progressed through the program, she got sicker and required constant care. I finished my second semester at Teachers College on April 19th, and my mother passed away on April 30th. In both instances, I struggled and often felt like quitting, but it was the support of family that got me through. So when you are faced with making a decision about a potential job opportunity, graduate school, maybe starting a family, or when you're embarking on a new journey and life happens, do not worry yourself about the timing, but instead assess who will support you and how, because no man is an island. And this leads me to my final word of advice. Your parents were probably right about everything. Now hear me out on this one. I was a rebellious child who often felt grossly misunderstood. I agreed with my mother on very little. She had dedicated 20 years of her life to educating children in the New York City public school system, and always thought that I too would be a teacher. But I would resist, and I would say, no, Mommy, I'm a dancer. I'm an artist. Now, of course, I am a dancer and an artist, but I am also a professor in the dance department, in the Department of Theater and Dance at Rowan University, currently earning a doctorate in dance education from Teachers College. So it took me years to realize what my mother always saw in me. I was right, but so was she. Remember that the people celebrating your victory today have poured so much into you, and it is quite possible that they see something in you that you have yet to discover. Continue to place value in their advice and encouragement, and one day it'll all make sense, I promise. And in closing, I want to once again congratulate you, the 2021 graduating class of this phenomenal program, for creating paths, asking questions, and finding answers that were once unknown. You are a special cohort of artists, scientists, technicians, and designers equipped with the tools and knowledge to safely lead us through uncharted waters. Just thinking about what you will do next excites me. Stay the course, surround yourself with people who truly have your best interest at heart, and never be afraid to take chances. Remember that failing is winning, and that nothing beats a failure but a try. Most importantly, remember that you are on a journey of self-discovery, and I imagine that we will all continue to discover ourselves until we leave this earth. And so I'll leave you with one of my favorite quotes from Alonzo King, one of the world's most inventive 21st century choreographers. In this quote, he's referencing contemporary ballet, but I always say that dance lessons are life lessons. The goal of this discipline is to find out who you are, so you become a human masterpiece. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dawn Marie Bazemore. You are brilliant. In this ceremony, we've paid tribute to the custom design graduating class of 2021. Now, you graduates should turn to salute through email or in person those who have helped you along the way, family members and loved ones, as well as faculty and administration. You've weathered a difficult but important year, a pandemic, and an enlarged sense of racial and social justice for our society. You will remember this year in years to come. So let's end by recognizing all of the parents, spouses, partners, children, and loved ones of our graduates. We couldn't have done it without you. From all of us, thank you. And now we're also excited to continue graduation activities on Friday, June 11th, with the university-wide commencement at Citizens Bank Park, beginning at 7:30 p.m., where all degrees will be formally conferred. Once again, congratulations to our graduates, and please continue watching for individual recognition of graduates. Thank you.
Bachelor's degrees: Axel Persinger, Avery Klondor, Daniel Clark, Jasmine Timar, Manasa Natrajan, Christian Benagala, Cecilia Cerny, Dominic Baglio, Christina Salyuk,